We're going to have fun today talking about some of the crazy things that people do. You thought I was crazy. Well, I've got a lady who's even crazier, and she's written a book called And I Thought I Was Crazy, all sorts of little idiosyncrasies that people have. This is Steve Winzenburg on the weekend, and Judy Reiser is my guest. Judy has written the book And I Thought I Was Crazy. Quirks and idiosyncrasies. People do the darndest things. And Judy, what a fun book this was to read. This is the kind of holiday book that I like because I just sat and laughed at the people in this book, and they're all real stories, aren't they?
Yes, and Steve, we're all a little bit nuts. Everybody has a preference for which direction the toilet paper should hang. Most people won't take the top newspaper on a stack, even if it's in perfect condition. You probably won't answer the telephone on the first ring, even if you're right beside it. And Steve, if you're at a newsstand and you flip through a magazine and you decide to buy that magazine, you're not going to get that.
You're right. How did you know? You got me pegged.
Right? You'll put it back and take another copy. Am I right?
So is that those must be common things, because most of those things you mentioned, you're absolutely right. That's what I do.
Yes, those are some of the more common ones, but we've all got a lot more interesting ones than that. One guy told me that rather than lug the vacuum cleaner around chasing after the dirt, he sweeps the dirt to the vacuum cleaner, which is in his closet, and then all he has to do is turn on the switch and suction up the dirt. Some of these are very funny, and some of them are strange, and some of them are charming, and some of them are good ideas.
So how did you come up with the idea for the book?
Well, I had a conversation with a friend in which I divulged something crazy I do. I don't remember which one it was. There are so many. And he divulged something crazy he does, and after having a good laugh about it, I thought, hey, there could be some more potential here, so I started asking around, and it wasn't long before I discovered that everyone seems to have quirks, and I began collecting them, and the result is, and I thought I was crazy.
And you actually talked to thousands of people, right?
I did, that's right. I interviewed over 2,000 people and I thought I was crazy, and for a future sequel, and I'm convinced nobody's playing with a full deck.
This book is just filled with hundreds of hilarious stories about the little quirks that people have. It's called And I Thought I Was Crazy. But Judy, try to explain for us what's the difference between just a habit and an idiosyncrasy.
Well, a habit is something I do. A quirk is something you do. Seriously, Steve, if you have the same thing for lunch every day, that's a habit. But if you iron your lunch, that's a quirk.
Oh, come on. People don't iron their lunches.
Well, one guy told me that he takes a piece of bread and puts some good things in there, like, some vegetables and some cheese. He wraps it in aluminum foil, and then he irons it for about 3 or 4 minutes on each side, and he's got a delicious warm sandwich. I told you, some of these are very good ideas. One guy told me that he irons only the front of his shirt and the cuffs, because that's all that shows when he's wearing a suit.
Sure, that makes sense to me. So there are idiosyncrasies or quirks. There's also a Jewish word for this, isn't it?
Mishigas.
Mishigas.
Yes. Mishigas is a Yiddish word for irrational behavior. It sort of says quirks and idiosyncrasies better than quirks and idiosyncrasies. Mm-hmm. It's a great word. It's better than chutzpah or schlep. Mishigas.
Now, aren't some of these also kind of superstitions? For instance, I see ball players do certain things every game that they play out of superstition. They have these little quirks that they have. Does that all fall in the same category?
Yes, some of these are superstitions. People have lucky socks or lucky underwear. One guy told me that if he's watching a sports event on television or at a stadium, he has a ritual where if his team is not doing well, he'll go to the bathroom, and when he comes back, something magical happens in favor of the team that he's rooting for. And one time, a few years ago, he was at the Super Bowl, and the Green Bay Packers were playing the Denver Broncos, and he told the people around him in the stands about this ritual of his. And when the Denver Broncos weren't doing well, everybody around him in the stands started yelling, "Go to the bathroom! Go to the bathroom!" And he did, and when he came back, the Denver Broncos won, and they were 12-point underdogs.
That's great. What are those little things that people do that we're talking about that are just really unusual? Like, do you have to have all the bills in the same order in your billfold? Or do you have to always have the toilet paper the same direction? Or your coat hangers always facing the same way? Or as I mentioned earlier, I like to read the last page of the book before I start reading it. And Judy, before we get to our callers, why don't you give us some examples? We talked about money a little bit. I was amazed how many different money stories you have in the book.
Yes, An art director told me that if she buys an item, let's say the item costs $36.68, she'll make the check out for $36.68, but in her record book, she'll deduct $37. That way, she's got a lot of extra money left in her account at the end of the year.
She doesn't have to balance it.
Right.
You've got a lot of food examples in here, unusual things that people do in terms of food, how they eat their food having to be put at a certain place on the plate, or they eat it in a certain order.
Yes, and many people will either start with their favorite thing first or least favorite thing, or have to have the food in different foods in separate dishes so they don't run together, the juices don't run together. And an actress told me that she loves grocery shopping. She finds it a very relaxing experience. But there's one thing that she does a little bit differently than the rest of us. She'll pick up the items that she needs in the order that they're written on her list. So let's say if she needs milk and cheese and they're in the same aisle in the supermarket, but they're not one right after each other on her list, she'll get the milk and bypass the cheese and come back for it when she gets to it on her list.
See, some of these sound like disorders.
Well,
I mean, that's just kind of wacky to do it that way.
It's a matter of degree. These are just harmless little offbeat habits or rituals that help us cope from day to day. They keep us organized. We're not necessarily locked into it.
Okay.
We can give it up if we have to. It just feels more comfortable, and we're all loaded with this stuff.
All right. What are your little quirks or idiosyncrasies? Somebody you know, or it could be about yourself. We're going to Cindy first on WHO Radio. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
Who are you going to tell us about, yourself or somebody else?
Just some people in general in the backwoods area of Dubuque, which isn't very backwoods, but for women, if it was that time of the month, they couldn't touch plants because the plants would die. And the other thing was they couldn't take a shower the first day or two, or else they'd skip their next monthly thing.
Are you talking about currently this happens? This sounds like 100 years ago it might happen.
But anyway, that's the quirk.
Wow, that's a quirk. Thanks, Cindy, for calling WHO Radio, and we're going to be giving two of our callers books later on in the program. Going to pick a couple of the craziest ones. Andy is up next on News Radio 1040 WHO. Hi, Andy.
Hello, how are you doing this morning?
Great. What have you got to tell us about?
Well, my wife, she's probably going to hear me or kill me when she hears this, but ever since I've known her, she can't shut the television or the radio off without, she can't shut it off mid-word. She's got to wait until they finish what they're saying, and then she can shut it off. I don't know what that is, but it's funny because, oh my gosh, I shut it off mid-word, and then she'll turn it back on and wait for them to finish saying what they're going to say, and then she'll shut it off.
That's weird.
Andy, your wife is not alone. There are people that do that. Some people have to shut the television off. It has to be at a certain channel, the one that they're going to start with when they open it. They have to go back to that channel before they turn it off.
That's interesting. That's a great one, Andy. Thanks for calling WHO. Angela is up next on Winzenburg on the Weekend. Hi, Angela.
Hi.
What have you got to tell us about?
Well, it's just something strange, and I've always done it ever since I was a little kid, and I don't know why, but when I eat M&Ms, I have to eat two at a time, but they have to be a different color.
Yep, she's got something like that in the book, don't you, Judy?
Yes, I do. Many people have to separate the M&Ms by color, and then eat them one at a time by color, one of every color.
Yeah. So Angela, you're a little different. You're saying you eat two at a time, but they have to be different colors.
Right. I eat two at a time, but they have to be different colors.
And when did this start? At what point in life did this start?
Oh, I don't remember. I was maybe 7 or 8, maybe.
And you've just never gotten rid of that habit?
No, I still do that today.
Has anybody...
What happens if the last two are both the same color? What do you do?
I won't eat them. I'll feed them to my husband, or I'll feed them to somebody
See,
else.
and that's what Judy's book says. She finds all sorts of people where if that situation comes up, they won't even eat them. They'll throw them away or something.
Yeah, I won't eat them. I don't know
Very
why.
interesting. Angela, that's fascinating. Thanks for sharing that story with us.
Thank you.
On News Radio 1040 WHO, let's go to Harriet. Hi, Harriet.
Hi. First, I'd tell you, when I picked up from my mother, she always read a magazine from the back to the front.
Yep.
I do that.
I like to do that, too.
My greatest thing to do is to add up numbers on license plates and figure out not the ones that they make up themselves, but the ones that be like JP something or other.
Sure.
What that would be. But I like when the numbers add up, like say it's 218, it'd be 2 and 8 is 10, and 1 is 11. I like the uneven
So you mean every
numbers.
time a car goes by, you're looking at it and trying to add up the numbers?
Oh, always, especially when I'm driving or especially on a long trip. But
When you're
always I
driving?
do it. But the
Huh.
uneven numbers are the ones, the more uneven numbers I have, the happier I am.
That's very interesting.
You're good in math.
Yep, you're always
you have
thinking.
to be good in
Yep.
math to do that one.
Thanks, Harriet. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Judy, my wife has this little habit for 20 years. Every time she drinks a can of pop, before she opens it, she has to tap the top of the can. She taps it. Have you ever seen that before?
Variations of that one. Does she tap it a certain number of times?
Well, she doesn't, but some of my kids now have picked up on that, and you get in a habit of doing it. You just tap, 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 and I think she claims it's getting the fizz away or something. But she just always does that. She cannot drink a can of pop without tapping before she opens it up.
You know, some of these quirks are inherited. One lady told me that she inherited this from her mom. She has to keep reusing a piece of aluminum foil, until it's totally torn
Really?
and can't be used anymore.
Yeah.
So we do inherit some of these.
Judy, does this differ by social status or age, people that have these quirks?
Absolutely not. Any age, any background, doesn't matter. Anywhere in the world, we've all got them.
I'll tell you what I was amazed by in your book, how many well-educated people have the most extreme quirks. I mean, the weirdest ones came from the lawyers and the college professors and the doctors and the highly educated type.
That's true. Frequently, I see someone, with a pink mohawk and every body part pierced, and I'll go over to interview them, and I'll think to myself, oh, I'm going to finish the book with this guy. And, they'll have to think about it.
Right.
They won't be able to come up with one. And then I go up to the most conservative suit, and bingo.
Yep, that's right.
One right after the other.
Steve's up next on WHO. Hi, Steve.
Good morning, Steve. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Well, my wife, who is a medical professional, as you were just talking about the educated people,
Uh-huh.
has to fold her dirty clothes.
Oh, no.
But here's the weird part. She folds them differently than she does the clean ones.
Oh.
That
So
way
she
can
knows
tell
which
the
ones are
difference.
dirty, right?
Exactly. So if I'm home and I fold the clothes out of the dryer, she has to ask me if they're clean or dirty because she can't tell.
Oh.
Good one.
So,
Now, the worst part of the whole thing is my 15-year-old daughter has started doing the same
oh.
Uh-huh.
Yep, and she'll probably do it the rest of her life, too.
thing. I don't doubt that a
Yeah,
bit.
that's great. Good story, Steve. Thanks for sharing that
Thank
with
you
us.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Ken is up next on Winzenburg on the Weekend. Hi, Ken.
Hi.
What have
Hi.
you got to tell us about?
My wife will never eat a round cake, only square ones. No, true.
Why?
That's the truth.
Why?
I think she got it from her mother. Had to be.
Is there a reason?
None that I know of. Only she does not eat a round cake.
How about one of yours? All you guys are calling up talking about your wives. How about
Well,
you?
there might be a good reason for that, Judy. Did you ever think of that?
Well, would you like to hear something that a lot of men do? Both men and women are equally quirky, but there are some quirks that are gender specific. Would you like to hear something?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. When you guys get dressed, you'll put on your pants, zip up the zipper, button the button, buckle the belt. Then you guys go and get your shirt, unbuckle the belt, unbutton the button, unzip the zipper, tuck the shirt,
Okay,
and then
okay,
do the
Judy.
whole thing
Come
all
on,
up
we had
again.
enough of that. Let's focus on the wives this time. Thanks, Ken. That's really good.
Thank you.
All right, Jane's up next. Maybe she's got something for us. Hi, Jane. Jane, what are you going to tell us about?
Yeah, my quirk is, well, maybe other people do it too, I hope, but I don't care when it is, if I'm tired, exhausted, if I just kick my shoes off and I don't untie them, I always have to get up, untie them, put them neatly, put the shoestrings back in the shoes.
Really?
And I do not want them to be like pigeon-toed one way, pigeon-toed another way. They've got to be like they should be on a shoe rack.
In order. Yep, we're nice and in place.
Yeah, and as far as the TV thing goes, I can't shut the TV off if there's something scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something ugly
Yeah.
or something. I gotta wait. I gotta turn the channel. or
Interesting.
something. So, anyway. thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Ken. Hi, Jan.
Hi.
What are you going to tell us about?
When I buy gas at the gas station, I always have to make it end in a 7, whatever amount I got.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Just
When
something
did
I
this
do.
start, Jan?
Oh, I've done it for years.
And you can't think of any reason why.
No.
So it always has to end in a 7.
Yep, no matter what.
Is it for good luck?
I don't know. I just wouldn't dream of leaving without it ending in a 7.
Uh-huh.
Very interesting quirk. Thanks,
Good
Jan,
one.
for sharing that with us. And Andrew, you get the last chance here. Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
What's your story?
The dishwasher. Everything in the dishwasher has to be loaded a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the forks and spoons and knives must be separated. They have to be pointing down.
Now, do you do this?
Yeah. That way I know it's done right.
But where did you pick this up? Was this from like a childhood thing?
Ever since I was a kid, my parents, they would all just throw everything together, everything up, down. They'd pack it completely full.
Oh, I see. So you're doing the opposite of what your parents did.
Right. And I just found to be more, they get cleaner, faster, better. You wouldn't have to run them twice. I don't know. It's just nothing underneath on the bottom. The pans have to be on the side or something. That way, if the water sprays up, the cups on top could be clean. It's just certain, everything has to be a certain place in the dishwasher.
Very
Otherwise,
interesting.
It has to be redone.
Great. Thanks, Andrew. Boy, some great stories. And Judy, your book is just filled with them. Just the little simple things like not taking the top newspaper from the stack. I just see everybody do that when they go to the store.
Yes, that's true.
Or cans or anything. I mean, you don't take the front thing. You always kind of reach behind and take the back thing.
Absolutely.
But you have some weird ones in the book, like people who iron their money, certain ways to shave, or just it's all different chapters. I can't describe them all now because we don't have time, but it's just an awful lot of fun. And Judy, give us one more about yourself. What's one of your big quirks?
Well, I've got to spend my dirty money first. I've got to get rid of that. And if a cashier hands me a dirty, messy, wrinkled bill, I've got to hand it right back and ask them to exchange it for a clean one.
Wow.
You can imagine how many I have after interviewing 2,000 people, and I couldn't afford it. I had too many to begin with.
Well, Judy, I have to give our 2 books to my 2 favorite calls. Steve, whose wife folds the dirty laundry, and Ken, whose wife won't eat round cake. That's one I still don't understand. She'll eat square cake, but not round cake. So Steve and Ken can call back in at 284-1040, tell you how you can get your copy of And I Thought I Was Crazy by Judy Reiser.